So, 2 December 21st, 2023, and this session of the Board of Commissioners meeting is in order. And Caroline, if you call roll.
Commissioner Bulkley.
Here.
Chair Curry.
Here.
Commissioner Easterby.
Here.
Commissioner Mandel.
Here.
Commissioner Truax. Here. 5 board members present.
Okay.
And we do, Chair Curry, have an addition to the agenda. It's a staff report from the chief. I'll give you guys that. To your packet. You can pass those out, right?
You contact them, just don't work up close and.
I don't Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I realized it when I couldn't open my locker. So then I contacted the Steve.
Yeah, I can read the.
So, any public,
Sure.
okay, we'll go to old business. Consideration of request for fee deferral of development impact fees associated with the Mammoth Hotel project by Drew Hill. Highmark Development, Chief Tolmeyer.
So I included a staff report, probably no reason to read it, unless when I get into the details at some point, but it includes tables of all of our different options. This was brought to the board by Highmark a while ago. We got it on our December meeting, and unfortunately, we didn't have an opportunity to have our legal review it enough to where they felt comfortable. We've had some changes in our legal staff over the last month, so they were able to get a partner who actually worked on our previous DIF study and had worked with Chief Freeballs on a couple position papers. So he did get me a response. Basically, what they're saying is they feel that the risk is minimal in this case. They have concerns with how our resolution is currently written, but especially in light of the fact that there's a new DIF study that's being implemented. The town actually passed that DIF study in their consent agenda last night, so something we bring to our board here shortly. The other consideration is kind of a question on authorities. Our legal takes a little bit of a position that due to the fact that this is our right to do this is through the municipal code, and the town essentially agreed with the developer in this case, that you can make an argument that we should follow in their footsteps, especially with how our resolution is written. So looking at the staff report, essentially, it has the current fee schedule, which the applicant would owe about 1.1 million for all development impact fees for the project. The recommendation of staff is that we ask that the fire district fees be paid prior to the first framing inspection. Per the applicant's letter, that would give him time to get the necessary funding that he needs. It's a little different from how it's structured with the town. They're doing half at framing, half at certificate of occupancy. Just due to the fact that, for us, that is important that we have that funding for our apparatus. This could be a multi-year project. The request from staff is this would allow them to move forward with their cash flow and finance, but would still put us kind of as close as we generally try to be with funding. The other consideration on here is just the history that we've had with the building as it exists today. The building had significant structure issues, had some propane issues last year, so it's in the district's interest to move this forward. And one ask would be that if the board does move forward on this, and the applicants already held to this, but we hold them to the standard of making sure the building's kept up. Primarily, the area of concern is the primary riser for the propane going into the building has to be kept clear through that process till they begin construction.
You could make an argument probably if you put the dollars to the man hours and the risk just last year to it. I mean, for moving forward, that might be that in itself is a fiscal argument.
Yeah, absolutely. It's in everyone's interest that this project moves forward. I wish Mr. Hill and his developers much luck. I'd love to be up on the rooftop with him in 2 years here.
Yeah.
We do have Mr. Hill on the phone. I can try to make sure we've got good volume if he wants to add anything or to the discussion.
Okay,
No, nothing to add other than appreciate all your consideration, and I do look forward to have a good time.
I think you just said appreciated all the consideration.
Just a question, is there a reason for a penal date to be added here? In other words, say first framing inspection. Is there a, or no later than, kind of?
Yeah, I mean, the developer kind of brought up a good point, which is, he can always pull the bid fees and nothing happens. So we are in a position to where ultimately nothing moves forward. We have no cards that we're holding. We could do something like that. Again, we have to take it back to our legal, make sure we write it.
It's not a recommendation, I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, it's a good question. If there was ways that we could help incentivize this thing moving as quick as possible, I think we want to do that. And, that's again, one of the reasons why we want to be kind of on the front end of kind of those costs for the project and get that at that first framing. But
Yeah.
I believe that just based off our timeline, there's simply it's something that we're accepting the fact that this project still needs to find financing. So it's been going respectfully since 2019 or 2018. So we want to do everything we can to move it within our constraints. And I think the biggest thing is, we need an answer on this by the end of the calendar year, so it stays within, and ultimately the town is closed on Fridays. It's gonna have about 2 days open, so we're right there. And I think just the fact the board was willing to come in over the holidays to move us forward.
So the other question I have is from Mr. Hill, are you okay to commit to, keeping the building up to safety standards during prior to construction? And during construction, especially, clear access to primary propane shut off and those kinds of things?
Yeah, I mean, we're committed to maintaining a safe building, and obviously conditions change and there may be things, but our goal is to make sure that building is complies with all the safety things as good as we can. Certainly with the fire sprinklering, the fire alarm, keeping things clear. Yes, that's our intent.
And obviously, sir,
we would try and do that anyway. So that's almost irrespective of this request. Our goal would not to have a building that would be unsafe.
completely understand. I think what we're looking for is a little extra attention given to kind of the back of the building where the riser for the propane comes up. Ultimately that is where our safety shut off is going to be if we have a reasonable suspicion of propane leak. And hopefully that's a fair statement on your part and something that you can agree to.
Yeah, we can pay attention to that. Last winter, unfortunately, the snow removal companies from our neighbors decided the back of our building was where they wanted to throw all their snow. So, and until we had a problem with the propane, we weren't aware of that issue. Was as bad as it was. And then obviously the propane made everybody realize that. So we'll be more diligent this year to make sure our neighbors do not pile snow on our propane lines.
Well, I kind of feel that as long as the town has given the deferral, I think that we should go along with that, that we would not be in conflict with the town. Plus, we're going to look at revising our deferral fee policies on there. And I hate to put Mr. Hill in a position where he has to wait until we make those changes. So I'd be inclined to say, yes, let's go ahead and give them the deferral. But I want to have board members input into it.
Well, I'm supportive of the staff recommendation that we grant the initial deferral. I understand there are financing issues. I'm certainly sensitive to the developer. I know how hard it is to get a project like this moving in this community. But I also think that I would like to see full payment of the DIF to the district at first framing. I'd rather not split that up into two pieces. And I think that should, give sufficient time for the developer collect those funds, and also just because of, I mean, DIF is intended, you know, to ameliorate new things, and, you know, we have our own timelines and our own budgets, and, you know, we want to make sure that we have the right apparatus in place to serve the construction.
Of course.
Yeah, I agree with that also. I refresh my memory, if all goes well, first framing they were expecting in April sometime.
No, first framing is probably, given demo time, it's sometime in the summer.
Sometime in the summer.
I said June. I mean,
I think
Yeah,
so.
construction is proposed to start in April and then some, and that's assuming everything goes smoothly. But it's probably 2 to 3 months after the start of construction.
Yeah, the demo's gonna take time. Depending on the winter too, it's gonna be a while. Probably June, July before, but 100% at framing.
Framing.
I think, this has gone through our legal team as well.
Correct, yep, and they have some other things that have put in the staff report, essentially, it's just liabilities with our current resolution, but ultimately they feel like, yeah, the risk is minimal here, and we should correct our resolution when we have the opportunity to.
John, you got anything?
No, I'm supportive of that recommendation, and,
Dave, you're okay?
Yeah.
Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll still need a formal motion.
so I'll move to accept the proposal, the recommended action as outlined on page 3. For deferral of the development impact fee for the first frame.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Anybody have anything to say? Okay. Caroline?
Yeah, I had one question before you finish. The difficulty in breaking it, I couldn't quite hear you were discussing, but what was the difficulty in breaking the fees up to first framing and then C of O?
So it's not so much a difficulty, it was trying to stick with our normal practices as much as possible. And based off kind of your letter there and understanding that, you know, once you start construction at that point, that would relieve you of the cash flow issues that you had. So it was trying to fix your problem, but also stick with as much as possible close to standard district practices.
Okay, well, if the board agrees with that, we'll go along with that.
Okay,
Motion and a second?
Commissioner Bulkley, what is your vote?
Yes.
Chair Curry, what is your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Easterby, what is your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Mendel, what is your vote?
Yes.
And Commissioner Truax, what is your vote?
Yes.
Okay, this motion carries 5-0.
I guess we don't need
So
any.
administratively, is there a document or something that I received
So I will
to-
follow up with a letter to you and I will CC planning as well.
Okay, perfect.
I'll
Perfect.
copy
Thank
you
you
and
all.
I-
I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, good luck. Yeah. Association comments?
Yeah, I'm signing off unless there's nothing else.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Caroline, any announcements?
I do have an announcement that I keep forgetting. John, your ethics training is due. I will send you.
So I am doing sexual harassment and ethics this week.
Oh, good. Okay.
At some point, usually between 3 and 5 a.m. in the morning. So I've got to I just need to remember, for any of you that sit on any other boards, you can add in at those ethics training things that you do it. You're doing it for more than one board at the beginning. I didn't realize that the last time, so I've been doing double ethics training, not that I don't need it.
And
So,
I think, Chris, you probably have one from the ski area, same thing we can use.
Okay.
I have to do ethics annually with State Farm, but biannually, 3 hours of ethics with the state.
This is biannual.
With that, how many hours?
I've never done the
2.
training,
I
but
think it's 2.
the issue is that FPPC is getting rid of the free training on
If you do it
January
by
1st.
December 31st, it's free and it's $75
I
after.
mean, yeah.
Well, the district would pay.
3 hours of ethics training takes 25 minutes. But I wonder if because I just had to do that, my 2 years were up, I just had to redo all of my training, 24 hours with the state. And if the ethics would carry over.
Usually the sexual harassment ones, no problems, it's a very standardized ethics training. If there's a way to give us what type it is, just something on it that has like, and then we can look up the outline and make sure it matches.
And at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind doing it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
It's probably an online course.
the one that we do, correct, yeah.
It's
the
right
town
around
doesn't
48
have
bucks.
it in-house. Yeah, it's free today, it's $75 next
week.
So I will follow up with an email to you guys all with the link. I think I already
Please
sent.
do.
If you do, then I would probably find time between now and then.
Yeah, I could too, because I'm not sure. I think I'm probably coming close to the expiration of the last one I did at the town.
Okay, so John is the only one, Roger's the only one that's off the hook.
You already did
He's
yours?
very ethical.
Betsy, Chris, he's not due till next year.
Okay.
Okay, I will take
That's
care
when
of
I get
that.
my shots and everything.
I think I'll.
And to be clear, when you send out an email for timesheets, we weren't reporting our time in any way.
Yeah.
We do.
Have you got a picture yet? I haven't.
And I know there's no paycheck involved, but I thought maybe there's hours to get the workers' confidence. I don't know.
Okay, friendship is over. That's right.
So our next meeting is the regular meeting on January 16th. And that's all I have.
Write this down as billable hours.
I wish I could go for.
Board has anything else? Okay, 12:18. Meeting is adjourned.
Betsy can go to her second lunch.
All right.